This is Roger Stone telling you that liberty prevails.
Major League Liberty. Defending life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And our happiness is always destroying the globalist agenda, exposing the flaws in fake news media, and of course, providing excellent entertainment.
And bam, what is up, everybody? This is your boy Liberty Logan coming at you with another episode of Major League Liberty, and we got a lot to talk about today. Not going to be talking about Joe Biden falling up the steps because, yeah, it's funny, but it's a distraction. Not going to be talking about what's going on in our joke of a government right now, because it is a joke. I mean, if we're being honest, none of us know who's even running this shit, because it's not Joe Biden and it's not Kamala Harris. Nobody knows. It's deep state guys, probably George Soros, probably all the people they sold out to, but it's not them. And if we're being honest, we have no idea. But what we do know is what's going on in the country and what's about to be going on this summer. As I've alluded to, it is going to be one hell of a summer because, I mean, I have to admit, I think a lot of you are as confused as me out there. Which way do we go, Patriots? Do you back the police that are going to be arresting you at anti-lockdown protests? Or do you back Antifa that are bashing the shit out of everything, and when the police try to stop it, they come in and bash the police? I don't know. I think Patriots are standing alone right now, to tell you the truth. And this has got to be a gut check for everybody in this country, whether you're a police officer, whether you're an activist, whether you're just somebody that doesn't want to be bothered, whether you don't like politics, do like politics, don't want to be involved, do want to be involved. It doesn't matter at this point. It really doesn't. We're all the way down to the basics, ladies and gentlemen, of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and that right now is under threat like it never has been in our lifetimes, and it's only getting worse. I'm going to be talking a lot about what's going on in the UK and Europe right now with the anti-lockdown protests. I'm also going to be talking a lot about what's going on with Antifa and BLM, which happened just today in Bristol, and it got crazy. Cop vans set on fire, all that. Anti-lockdown protesters yesterday getting arrested in Hyde Park for being in a park. I mean, the entire world right now is turned on its head. The entire Western world right now is going nuts. And the reason I want to talk about the UK, and I haven't done it in a long time, but just seeing what's come out of that place recently has been very disturbing, because what happens there is going to happen here, and it's going to happen here weeks later. Maybe months later, maybe days later, but it is going to be happening here. All of this is connected. All of it. We can no longer see ourselves as standing alone because we're separated by an ocean. It just doesn't exist anymore. It's not a thing. I mean, with the internet and everything that's going on, the ocean might as well be a stream that you can hop across and talk to whoever you want to talk to. and organize with whoever you want to organize with, because these tactics are very not just similar but identical across the entire Western world. And it's disturbing. I mean, it's disturbing what the EU is doing. It's disturbing to see our potato government, our fake government, our illegitimate government doing what they're doing. But this is what we have to realize. We're a little bit behind the curve when it comes to this, because this has been happening in Europe for a while, and it is coming here, and it's going to be coming here very soon. So that's why I'm going to be talking about it. Before I get into it, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm still waiting on Odyssey and Rumble and Gab and maybe even BitChute to get their live streaming shit together so I can get off of this shit platform of YouTube and go exclusively on alt media. Right now, Rumble does have it up, but it's only for the big boys like TPUSA and all of that. So once they get their shit together and they actually let us live stream on that platform, I do feel like it's going to blow up. I have high hopes for Rumble and Odyssey. If I can figure out a way to simul stream to both, I definitely will. And you know, honestly, as long as they just get their shit together, I'll pick one and I'll go with one, and then I'll post on the others. But, I mean, they got to get their shit together. This is getting ridiculous. It's taking too long, but progress takes time. So I know they're working on it. I'm trying to be patient. But until that happens, still stuck on this censorship, Nazi-esque bullshit platform that is throttling the videos, has been forever. They wouldn't let us get past 3,000 followers, really, or subscriptions, and Facebook pretty much just said, fuck you guys, you're not allowed to go live anymore, so that's why I'm no longer live on Facebook. But anyway, you guys know that, so let's get into this whole thing. So before I start talking about that, I do want to talk about something that happened in Portland, I believe last night, maybe the night before. I think it was last night, though. Antifa is trying to change tactics now to better their public image, and that lasted all of about 10 seconds, and they hated each other for it. Instead of going to what they call the gentrified area of Portland and smashing out Starbucks windows and all that, they actually washed windows. They washed one window of a Starbucks. That was so nice of them. So nice of them. After months and months of destroying shit, they washed one window, and now all of a sudden they want your praise. Now all of a sudden they want you to think, oh my God, Antifa loves you, and all this bullshit. Don't fall for it. I think a lot of it had to do with Portland Antifa and BLM fighting each other the other night as we were covering it on the live stream. Getting into the argument about saying, oh, no masters. You can't say that to the black guy, or you can't say that to a black girl. We want to do our little talent show of speeches before you guys go and fuck up the building. And it was some delicious looking infighting, I do have to say. But either way, I think a lot of that has to do with Antifa trying to clean up their image, but it's going to fail. If anybody actually falls for it, you are dumber than hammers. Like, I mean, I don't understand. It's retarded if you fall for that. But still, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what's going on with that really quick. So this was in Portland, Oregon. And this is from a channel. One sec. I want to shout them out. They only have 112 subscribers. Go ahead and subscribe to them. It's called Yeah, Right, The Matrix Again. All caps. Separated words, not all one word. YEA space RIGHT space THE space MATRIX space AGAIN. Got to spell it out. I want to be sure that I give him the credit that is due. So having said that, this guy pretty much put together, I don't want to call it a compilation or a mash. I don't really know what you would call it because, like I said, I'm techno-tarded. But still, he put together pretty much a couple of videos and also some tweets that were going on from different left-wing terrorists, activists, whatever you want to call them, about this whole trying to clean up their image thing. So, let's just go ahead and view the fuckery real quick because that's what it is. And you guys decide for yourselves what you think of this whole thing. Okay, I just have to pause it there because obviously, look at these idiots. They're washing one window of a Starbucks and everyone's supposed to praise them. Now, if you look at the people inside the Starbucks, they're even staring at them like, what the hell are you idiots doing? I mean, oh my god, number one, you're just streaking up the window. I don't know what the hell they're washing it with. Can't even get that right. Can't even get window washing right because they're a bunch of idiots. But they think this is going to clean up their image. Now, some of those tweets were kind of cut off in this video. I'm sorry. This guy has like a weird video layout on his YouTube. It's elongated, I guess. So it's kind of hard to see some of the stuff. And if I mess with it, it would screw up all the other clips I got for you guys. So I didn't do it. But pretty much what they were saying was they were having this little rally to go and clean up the image of Antifa. So they're going to this area that they've rioted in for months, almost pretty much a year now. I mean, pretty much a year, nonstop. It's an area that they say is gentrified and it's a colonial, imperialist wasteland, all this. A bunch of accounts in Antifa were saying that this is ridiculous. You guys are just, coming in and trying to suck the... I'm not going to say that. Lick the boot. I'll do that one. Lick the boot of gentrifiers and colonists and all this. And it started like this huge thing when they were trying to clean up their image. Not a lot of Antifa were super okay with this, and there was a big back and forth, and eventually one account came out and said this is mainly a distraction for the cops, so people that want to go and bust shit up can go and bust shit up and then hopefully not get arrested for it. And some of the clips you saw earlier of the expedition leaving the area they were throwing rocks at, I believe that was near the Portland Ice Building. They somehow busted out the windows of the Portland Ice Building that were higher up on the building, and did their normal thing there. They just didn't smash out these windows. They were just cleaning it up and saying Antifa loves you. I mean, this is the most feeble, stupid attempt I've ever seen by Antifa to do anything. I mean, do you guys really think this shit is going to work? I know that you're all retards, and I know that a lot of the people in Portland support you because they're also retards. But, I mean, seriously. Even the idiots that follow you were pissed about this, and even the idiots that have been dealing with you don't believe any of your horseshit. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen from Antifa, and that's saying a lot. But hey, congratulations on trying to wash a window. Obviously never had a job in your life. Obviously have no idea what you're doing. Obviously your mom never made you do chores around the house. I mean, seriously, if I washed a window like that when I was a kid at my house, when I was growing up, my mom would have made me do it over and over and over again until that shit was spotless. She liked a spotless house. And that was one of our chores. We had to go and we had to clean the house. It admittedly didn't really rub off on me. I don't really like cleaning, but goddamn, I know how to do it. This is ridiculous. I mean, even when they're trying to wash a window, they screw it up and make the window worse. But I can't keep going on this because we got a lot to talk about. And if I keep going on this idiocy, it'll take forever.
It is black also.
I apologize in advance of the twerking. Okay, so this is another thing. This is what happens when Antifa ladies are hanging around soy boys constantly, that are constantly propping them up and making them feel, I'm just going to say it, way hotter than they actually are, because they're not. They think it's cool to just twerk in front of people and everybody wants to see it. This particular thing, this is, I believe, a TPUSA, I don't know, I guess they set up some sort of table to hand out pamphlets, something like that. I don't know, their normal thing. And Antifa, trying to clean up their image, they came out and decided to twerk in front of it. Disgustingly. I mean, Jesus. The meth mouth that chick must have. Ugh. But anyway. So they did that, and later on, they just couldn't help themselves, and they went and they assaulted them. That's not part of this clip, but it did come out later. If you want to check and verify that, it's on Andy No's Twitter. He verified that, yes, later they did go and mess up the TPUSA little thing because they're just angry people and can't help themselves. There's not too much of this left, so I'll go ahead and get through it.
It is black also. I don't want anybody.
So it goes on like that for a little bit longer. But this is all part of Antifa apparently trying to clean up their image in Portland, because even, I guess, people in Portland are getting pretty sick of it. And I don't mean to down everybody in Portland. There are good people that live there. But that city is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I really got nothing else to say about it. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. That's just the first clip I got for you. Toph, Sharon, what's up? How you guys doing? Great to see you. Audrey Soltis? There we go. Nice to see you too. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Jake Nelson, what's up? But yeah, I'm not going to redo the intro, guys. I already did the intro. But you guys know I play it at the end of the show anyway, so if you want to see it, you'll just have to stick around for the end of the show. Bree Free, nice to see you. Chris, yes, yeah, you know. And the twerking is just amusingly gross. I mean, it might amuse you, man, but it's just disgusting to me. Jesse Loon Juggalo. How's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. But that's Antifa in Portland trying to clean up their image. It's not going to work. I mean, nobody's going to buy the shit because they couldn't even do it for a whole day before completely ruining the entire attempt. Plus, all the Antifa Twitter... posts hated it. So if anybody actually thinks that this is what Antifa's new direction is, it's ridiculous. That lasted one night. I'd be incredibly surprised to see if that happens again. But, you know, to be real, if they just start marching around and washing windows, sort of, or at least attempting to, okay. I mean, that's better than going around and smashing out windows like a bunch of retards, but hey, I mean, whatever. Anyway, all right, so this is one that I wanted to show you guys because this is my boy. If you guys don't know, that's the point with Brandon. He's been away for a little bit, but he is now back. He's got some videos up from a week ago and recently. This was, I believe, in Beverly Hills. I'm not really sure what they were doing, some sort of flag wave or something like that, but pretty much what happened was a bunch of Antifa in Beverly Hills decided that they wanted to steal a flag from an elderly person. That's the point with Brandon, as usual, was right there to capture the aftermath when they got the flag back and Antifa got chased off and their ass beat. It's kind of hard to actually tell a little bit in this one who is Antifa and who is not, and you know, even for some of the Patriots, it was kind of hard to tell. You'll see them kind of squaring up with each other on accident. But I think it's safe to say that the guy on the ground getting his head smashed in was definitely Antifa. So this one is just fun to watch. Plus, I like That's the Point with Brandon a lot. If you guys have not yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. He's really good at this stuff, especially now that he's back. I'm super looking forward to see what he's got coming up. But this is something that he shot, I believe it was yesterday. Now that guy right there going down, I'm pretty sure he was... Ooh, it hurts. Bam! Yes. Bam! 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 So apparently at the end of that, they tried calling the police for assault and all that, even though they just stole someone's property. And this is, of course, happening again. So the main reason I wanted to show that too is, like I've been saying, get ready for a summer, because this shit did not go away, and it's not going away anytime soon. And we have two choices as Patriots. We either stand up and do something, have our flag waves, know that we're going to get attacked, and just embrace the suck, or we lay down and die. And we just let communism take over and let them do whatever they want. Those are the two choices we have. That's it. There is no other choice. And nothing explains that better than what's going on in the UK yesterday and today, because this was something that was pretty shocking. And I mean, it's kind of hard to say shocking, because we've seen so much over the past couple of years that it's kind of hard to be shocked by anything anymore. But pretty much the police in the UK are literally just following orders at this point. I have no respect for oath breakers, and the police in the UK yesterday were breaking their oath. They were arresting people for being in a park. And this isn't the first time I've showed this. This happened a month or two ago. And I was talking to my contact in the UK, and I just asked, like, what the fuck is going on over there? Yesterday, you had police arresting 33 people for being in a park. It was a freedom march. It was an anti-lockdown march. It was part of the worldwide anti-lockdown marches. And I mean, this didn't just happen in the UK. It was Netherlands, Austria, here in the US. It was everywhere. Everywhere. And everywhere across Europe, you see police violating their oath and arresting people for peacefully assembling, having a march, but it was all under the guise of violating a COVID lockdown. If you are a police officer anywhere in the Western world, anywhere, and you are enforcing these bullshit mandates that are obviously trampling on rights, especially here in the United States where they are rights that are protected by our Constitution, you are an oath breaker, period. Your job, whatever, fine. If you want your job to be Gestapo, let your job be Gestapo. But then on the other hand, I'm going to show you guys what was happening in Bristol tonight in England, where BLM and Antifa were rioting against a bill that would give police more power over protests, literally playing into the hands of authoritarian assholes and making it easier for them to pass a bill that would give police more powers to shut down gatherings, impose curfews, do whatever, whether they are peaceful or not, whether they are violent or not. They can just do whatever they want. And I mean, it's just so ridiculous to see. It's so ridiculous to see these freaking stooges playing into the hands of the authoritarians that they're apparently fighting, but they're too stupid to realize they're doing exactly what their puppet masters want. And it's just infuriating to watch. There are people that are having an actual peaceful rally, an actual peaceful protest, going to a park, not smashing anything, not breaking anything, and then they're getting attacked by the cops, and the cops are breaking them up, arresting 33 people for sitting there, and then at the end of the night, cops are running away from them because they were throwing stuff at them. They've had it. Patriots there have had it with that crap. They have, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I am not one of these guys that's going to sit up here and say go attack all cops. Absolutely not. But when your rights are being trampled by the cops, what the hell are you supposed to do? I have sympathy for police when they're getting attacked by Antifa and BLM, when they don't have the resources they need to actually shut that down, because these governments don't want them to have the resources to actually shut that down, because they are using that as a justification to gain more and more and more authoritarian power, which is why they fund these terrorist assholes, which is why they let them out of jail here in the United States and elsewhere, which is why they will not prosecute them, because they want them to do that as a catalyst for them gaining more and more and more power and control over your lives. And a lot of people might be voting for this because they're afraid of Antifa and they want it to be put down. But what they do not realize is it might put down Antifa, but what it's really designed to do is to put you down. What it's really designed to do is to make it so peaceful protests cannot happen anymore. And that's what they're working towards. And these idiots in Antifa just fuel that. They fuel it with their violence. They fuel it with their idiocy. They fuel it with their complete lack of understanding of what's actually going on in the world and what's actually going on with real authoritarianism. They do not understand that they are stooges, that they are useful idiots. So please, I understand that Antifa and BLM are assholes, that they will come around, they will harass you, they will intimidate you, and you want it to stop. I get it. I understand that. But bills like what's going on in the UK right now that give police pretty much almost unregulated power to stop any kind of gathering, whether it be a peaceful protest or a violent one, do not give them that power, because these police will be following orders from the brass, the guys up top that know exactly what's going on, that are going along to get along, and they'll use that power and abuse it. They will. Now, my contact did say that there is like an open letter signed by 60 MPs. That's what they call their police in London, Metropolitan Police, I believe, is what the MP stands for, that said that they do not want this to go through. They don't want this to happen. They don't want to have that kind of power, because even they realize, they know, because they know their brass, they know the people they work for, that this will be used and abused. It will be abused. And they will make them abuse it. I hope to God if this passes that those 60 officers quit immediately. You need to at this point. This is what I'm saying about the gut check that's going to be coming up here in America very, very soon, and should have happened a long time ago. Frankly, should have happened last summer, but people were just trying to wait it out, thinking it's going to go away. This is not going to go away. This is something that's designed by globalist powers all across the Western world. China's got their hands in it. Russia's got their hands in it. This is an attack on Western civilization. We are in a war, and they are using us against each other. They're using us fighting each other so they don't have to do anything, and then they'll just come in and mop up whatever's left. But people are too dumb to understand this, and it's crazy. Let's see, Tofinson, member of Parliament. It could be that too, man. I'm not really sure, because I know MP also stands for like Metropolitan Police in London anyways, so I don't know if they're saying members of Parliament or the police, because it is an open letter to Parliament, I believe. So I think it was police officers and not actually members of Parliament, because the letter was going to Parliament. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. So this is yesterday. A lot of these videos are going to be from Rupley, because honestly, Rupley has been killing it the past couple of days. They got people all over the place. And yeah, they are funded by the Russian government, because guess what? The Russian government loves seeing this on either side. On either side, they love seeing people fighting the cops. They love seeing the breakdown of our civilization. It is what it is, but whatever. They got great footage. So I'm going to play it. Again, this is in Hyde Park in London. If I remember right, the lady that you just saw getting walked out wasn't even part of the protest. She was just trying to hang out in the park. Might not be the same lady, but there was a lady that did that. This is later on in the night. And keep in mind, these are anti-lockdown protesters. This is not BLM or Antifa. These are what you would call patriots in the UK, for the most part. I'm sure there are some agitators in there doing this shit, but it's like it was on January 6th. Yeah, there were some Antifa agitators, but it's mainly patriots that were pissed off at this shit. They're sick of it. They're sick of the police acting like this towards them for doing nothing wrong. So that's just one of the videos going on there. I don't know, guys. Like I said, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. Because, I mean, this is going on all over the Western world. That's why I titled this video, Are You Going to Live on Your Knees or Die on Your Feet? Because no matter who we're fighting, it's going to be somebody. Somebody's going to be trying to shut down freedom, no matter who it is. Somebody's going to be trying to do it. They might show up with a badge. They might show up in a black clad. It doesn't matter at this point. I don't know. Ms. Red Badger, how you doing? We will have to join with each other against the freaking tyrannical government types. That's true, and they're pretty much making that illegal. In case you haven't heard what's going on here in Colorado, they are trying to pass a truth and reconciliation bill in our government, pretty much making what I do illegal here and what many others do here illegal. And it's probably going to pass. I mean, it could be taken to the Supreme Court, and I doubt that it would actually... I mean, the Supreme Court of Colorado would probably pass it because they don't really give a shit about the Constitution at all. The Supreme Court of the United States, I don't know, but at the same time, years before that happens, and I think they know that. They're passing that. They're passing incredibly anti-constitutional Second Amendment, or anti-gun laws, I guess I should say. They're not Second Amendment laws. Pretty much making it so that to own a gun, for one gun, you have to have a license for, I believe, each firearm that you own that has to be renewed yearly. That costs somewhere around like $800 to $900. You have to have a stamp. You have to verify that it's locked up in your house when it's in your house. And I believe there is some BS in there about carrying as well. Now, I heard that this did have some opposition, which is good, from, I think, a federal judge. I'll have to look more into that, but honestly, these policies and everything going through Colorado, I'm not really diving too much into them necessarily because I know what they're doing. I know what these things are designed to do. I'm just waiting to see if they'll actually pass. Because, I mean, imagine Gavin Newsom's wet dream of policy, and that's what's going on here in Colorado. I mean, everyone's focused on Gavin Newsom. Everyone's focused on Ted Wheeler. Everyone's focused on the West Coast. Colorado, no one's focused on, and they are just doing whatever they want. Anything they want. Law be damned, they don't care. They're just doing anything they want right now. And people here in Colorado, I mean, we're trying to figure out what we can even legally do. Like, can we even legally have a flag wave? And now I'm even at the point where I don't care. It's a flag wave event. Or it's a gathering. They're going to try to find a way under the guise of COVID or whatever other guise to shut it down. But I don't know. Colorado is a state that is completely under siege, is completely locked down, completely under leftist tyrannical control. And it is tyrannical control. But we're fighting back. We're fighting back. You're not going to hear much of it in the next coming months, but it is happening. It's at a time where we have to lay low and strategically withdraw a little bit, but it's going to be happening again. I don't know. Scary times that we live in, folks. So that was in the UK. Now, I want to show this clip. You'll see a couple of things from the UK that you just saw in the other ones, but this was happening in Kassel, Germany, and it was happening, I believe, in the Netherlands as well. The Netherlands, I actually don't think is in this clip, but they were using water cannons against people standing in a park against COVID lockdowns, which, by the way, the CDC and the WHO have already said are completely ineffective. The stats are out. They're ineffective. Same with masks. Completely ineffective. This is a draconian measure. Now that people know that it's ineffective, I mean, most people, some people are so dependent on the matrix that they'll never get out of it. But now that this is out in the open, now that people are starting to realize it, they still don't care. And they're trying to see who is going to be the loyalist to the government and who's going to be the rebel that says this is bullshit. And they are cracking down on the rebels saying this is bullshit pretty hard all across the entire Western world. So this is just a taste of it. And like I said, this happened in Germany, Austria, Netherlands, Poland, I believe Estonia, Thailand. I mean, it was everywhere. Thailand even did it. It got shut down. This is these are scary times, man. I mean, the lines are drawn now, and they're not country lines. They're lines between people that love freedom across the Western world and people that don't give a shit about it and would rather just take a knee in front of daddy and mommy government and do whatever the hell they say. So, scary times. Let's see what's going on in the Western world and Europe. And keep in mind, this is definitely coming here very, very soon. So that's an aerial view with no sound. Look how many people are filling the street for the anti-lockdown protests, and cops are trying to stop them. Look, there were 33 arrests, but people are not going to be stopped now. Like I was saying, I was talking to my contact in the UK. These are only going to grow. Alright guys, so going to the comments here. Brent said, how do we know those 33 weren't doing something stupid? Look, I don't know what all 33 were doing, and you know what? It's very possible someone was doing something stupid. But during these anti-lockdown protests in London, as far as I know, nothing was smashed up. No businesses, nothing like that. No fires were started. And the arrests that I did see, and one of them that was earlier in the clip that I showed you, were people just sitting in a park. Now, yeah, you did see that aerial view of a small police line trying to stop the march. It wasn't going to stop. I have absolutely no problem with it not stopping, by the way. No problem whatsoever. They peacefully assembled. They were sick of their jobs and businesses getting ruined. They were sick of not being able to feed their families. They were sick of not being able to go out and make something of themselves, but instead be forced to suck on the government teat over and over again. They're sick of that. They're not going to do it anymore. I mean, you can, obviously, like, you can make whatever assumption you want. And yes, I'm sure some of them were doing something stupid. But we have to realize, whoever it is that is trying to stop you from exercising your freedom is a person trying to stop you from exercising your freedom. Whether they have a badge, whether they don't have a badge, whether they're in office, whether they're not in office, doesn't matter. People fought and died for this. Throughout the entirety of American history, people fought and died for that. I mean, do with that what you will. Do with that what you will. Whatever information. Now, I will show you also what was going on today in Bristol, which I definitely do not agree with. Now, this entire protest was against the bill that I was kind of talking about earlier. Pretty much what's going through the UK Parliament right now is a bill that is supposed to crack down on protests, large gatherings, give the police more power, install curfews, a bunch of other things like this that are pretty much trampling on people's rights. Now, it's supposedly designed to go after Antifa and BLM. I don't think that's the case, because you saw earlier in Hyde Park in London how many officers they had out there. They had like their entire, half their police force, if not all of it. In Bristol, you'll see they pretty much had 4 squads with like 6, maybe 6 to 8 mounted officers there to try to quell people that were lighting shit on fire, smashing shit up, because they don't actually want to quell that. That's the point. This entire thing is using the idiots and Antifa and BLM to go out and smash shit so they can use that as a catalyst to install these draconian laws, and these laws will not be used on them. They will be used on people doing anti-lockdown protests. This is going to happen here. Mark my words. It is going to happen here in the next month, if not weeks. It will happen here. Same exact shit. Because if you think it's actually Joe Biden running our country, I mean, we all know it's not. If you think it's Kamala Harris, we all know it's not her either. It's some deep state actors. Don't really know who they are. You can say George Soros and his ilk, but we don't really know who's running our damn country right now. Let's just be honest. We have no clue who is actually running the United States of America. Nobody really knows. But whoever is going to be implementing this shit here very soon. Once Antifa starts their crap, once they start trying to go along with the same thing that these idiots in Europe are doing, then the same type of bill is going to be introduced in Congress. And you know what? I think a bunch of establishment idiot Republicans, not saying you guys, I'm saying the ones in office, and I know you guys aren't establishment, but I'm saying like not the people that are Republicans, but establishment Republicans in office are going to try to tout this as a good thing. Like, oh yeah, finally cracking down on Antifa, finally doing something about it. It's going to be the catalyst to take away your rights. That's what this is all about. And that's what these idiot puppets and Antifa and BLM are doing in Bristol. This happened today, which would be the night over there in England, obviously. Feeding right into it. Feeding right into it so they can literally say, oh yeah, line me up against the wall and shoot me with your authoritarian ass. Because that's exactly what is going to happen. That's exactly what is going to happen. Do you think it is any kind of mistake or any kind of coincidence that Antifa here in the United States all of a sudden switched up saying, oh yeah, we love Biden, we want Trump out of office, and then like a little bit before they started saying, oh, well, we don't really like Biden, and now it's all the anti-American, we want to burn everything down, which it always really was, but now they're openly saying it, screw Biden, all that stuff. The leaders are leading these puppets to the slaughter. They're leading their little pigs to the slaughter, and the idiots don't understand it at all. They are incapable of understanding this. So this is what was happening earlier in Bristol today and continuing through the night, and I bet there's a bunch of stuff that I missed in this. I only got 2 clips for you guys because they're still clipping it up, but this is all over the internet. Check out Rutley. Check out any, I believe one of them, a restreamer I saw earlier was News Gone Bananas. Did some good work on restreaming that. It's all over the place. So guys, definitely check it out because we need to prepare. We need to prepare for this happening, and we need to recognize it for what it is. And at this point, it's not about necessarily educating anybody. I mean, if you can, don't get me wrong, definitely try to educate people, but so people are so dependent on this narrative. It is their entire livelihood, it is their entire personality, it's everything they know. They're so dependent on it that any little chink in that chain that you can put in it destroys their entire world. And that's the entire point of everything that's been happening for the past couple of years. This has all been planned. This has been a plan for a while. They are ramping it up, and now we see it in the open, and we see these idiots continuing to do the same thing. I do still think it's kind of funny that these idiots cannot figure out that they're not going to topple that van, but they got pretty close with this one. And there you have it. So honestly, guys, like I said, I'm conflicted because I agree. I don't want that bill to pass. But I mean, what they're doing right now is the entire reason that it's even a thing. They use them to drum up all of this crap to get people so scared, to get people thinking that the police just do not have the power to end this shit, which guess what? They did. They had the power the entire time to end this crap, but the higher-ups and the governors and all these little idiots that these stupid sons of bitches elected to office, and they just can't get it through their heads that, oh yeah, they're using me. The entire reason this bill is even a thing is because of Antifa and BLM. So do I agree I don't want the bill to go through? Yeah, I agree. Do I agree with their tactics? Hell no, and I never have. I will never march with Antifa and BLM. They're morons. They are morons. Even when we might agree on something like this bill not going through. They don't get it. They're not smart enough to understand that the entire reason that this bill is even a thing, that it's even being proposed, that it's even conceivable in the Western world is because of the dipshittery of them. They thought that they were, oh, well, we're getting funded by the government, so we're going to be fine. No, you're not. You're going to be fucked up with the rest of us. But you're too stupid to understand it. I don't think I'll ever understand that. I don't think I even want to understand the stupidity of the people. I can't. I can't. And like I said, this is not going to be used against Antifa and BLM. They're going to continue to let them perpetrate violence, smash it up, light stuff on fire, because that gives them the catalyst to pass more and more and more and more authoritarian bills under the guise of shutting it down. When really what they want to do is shut down the anti-lockdown protests, to shut down the anti-mask protests, to shut down the anti-government authoritarian protests, to shut down the freedom protests. They don't want you to have freedom. They want to use these idiots as a catalyst to take it all away. And they're going to. It's going to work. This happened today. The anti-mask lockdown thing, that would have been terrible optics. Terrible optics for this bill. I mean, you can agree or disagree with them saying, no, we're going to have our march, screw the cops, whatever. Still would have been terrible optics of the cops arresting people for standing in Hyde Park. But all of that's going to be erased because of what the idiots and Antifa and BLM did today. The bill is more than likely going to pass because I don't see how a member of parliament, after what happened in Bristol, can vote against it at this point. Yeah, it's right to vote against it, but will they? Probably not. Because shit got insane. Shit got insane in Bristol. I mean, fire is lit. Police having broken arms, stuff like that. That didn't happen at the anti-lockdown protests. They might have pushed through them a little bit, but there were no broken arms reported. There was none of that. That all happened today in Bristol with Antifa and BLM. Bam! Right there. That's all they need to pass this shit. That's it. Congratulations. You just gave the authoritarian assholes that you say you're fighting against everything they wanted. Everything. And you did it. Yeah, you might think, oh yeah, it was really fun to set a cop van on fire. Or it was really fun to overturn it. Or all this bullshit, chant all cops are bastards. You idiots don't get that this wouldn't even be a thing without you doing that. With you just acting like decent human beings, this would never gain any traction. In fact, the opposite would have happened. But you just can't contain your dipshittery for 2 seconds, for just 2 seconds, to not allow this to happen to not just you, because it's not even going to be happening to you on the scale that's going to be happening to actual peaceful people. It's so obvious to anybody that has even thought about history, that has even looked a little bit into the Weimar Republic, or looked a little bit into Marx, or looked a little bit into the Russian Revolution. Anybody that has even thought about it for 2 seconds and honestly thought about it, not with an ideology or anything like that, just looking like, oh gee, I wonder how this happened. This is how it happened. This is exactly how it happened. You're just repeating it. You are the useful idiots. It's in the book that you all read. And you're just too stupid to think, oh, hey, shit, maybe that's me. I have been trying to talk to Antifa members in the United States. I tried that. I tried that for years. That was one of the first things that we ever did with MLL. That's why we had our rally. We tried to talk to them at the one rally that we ever held at the Capitol. We tried to talk to them then. We tried to tell them that we don't hate you. We hate what you are doing because we know where it ends up, and it's not good for you, and it's not good for me. They don't want to listen. They think they're fighting Nazis that have absolutely no governmental power. They are installing authoritarian idiots into our government because they are too stupid to look out of their own ideology for 2 seconds to realize that everything that they love doing, protesting, all that shit, they are literally protesting, literally supporting all of it being taken away. Completely. And I'm not saying, smashing up windows, because that was never a thing to begin with. You do not have the right to smash someone's window no matter how much you little pricks want to. You do not have the right. Never have, never will. But you are taking away your right to assemble now. Do you get it? You are taking away your own right to assemble by being jackasses that act exactly like hyenas anytime you get together, anywhere. Whether it's the US, whether it's the UK, whether it's Germany, whether it's France, anywhere. You idiots are leading us to authoritarianism. Because you're idiots. Anyway, this is the last clip about Bristol I have for you guys, so enjoy this. This is how crazy it got with these morons. And this is a mainstream media clip, I believe. This is the one that I kept. I think it's the one that I kept. It's a mainstream media clip. Listen to how they're describing it now. And this is the mainstream media describing it now. Not the, oh, it's mostly peaceful protests and all that. No, 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 no. All that switched up. Shocking.
Police had urged them not to come, but they did in their thousands. Kill the bill, they had chanted. That in relation to a plan to give police more powers over protests. But after a peaceful march, this one in Bristol escalated through the evening, as some clashed with officers, while others exerted anger and frustration in other ways. Graffiti was sprayed, and officers confronted as they battled to defuse the situation. But some weren't going to go quietly, with fireworks thrown and police vans set on fire, while a group scaled the police station in the city centre, and some appeared to try and gain access to it by force. Tonight's scenes have been widely condemned, and for the majority who have demonstrated peacefully, it will be the actions of a minority that will be remembered, highlighting the serious challenges police can face whilst tackling their daily duties. Mark McQuillan, ITV News.
Did you catch that, sports fans? For the majority that were protesting peacefully, they shall not be remembered. It shall only be the minority of people who was setting shit on fire that will be remembered, while police are trying to do their duty. I don't know what to say. I'm literally at a loss for words, guys. I mean, and where we go from here, I don't know. Forgive me, I'm a little distracted because there is one more clip I wanted to play in my closing here that I got to look up for you guys. But I don't know. What do we do? What do we do? I mean, Patriots, you go out, you have an anti-lockdown protest that's completely peaceful. It gets completely shut down. MSM cheers for it. These idiots go out and they give the Parliament and everybody an excuse to completely trample over everyone's rights. And the MSM says, oh, well, it was the minority, and now police are just doing their duties. I mean, this is going to happen here. They're going to turn on Antifa. The mainstream media is going to go back to saying that, oh, yeah, well, you know, there is violence and shit like that, and now we need police to do their jobs all of a sudden. I don't know. Guys, this is the first time where I have literally no idea what the strategy should be. Tell me in the comment section while I'm looking up this clip what you think the strategy should be. What should Patriots do to combat this? Because they're going to now turn you into things that, I mean, they've already turned you into a Nazi and a white supremacist and all this other horse shit. And now they're going to turn you into something that you hate just as much, which is Antifa or BLM, and you're just like them now. Now you're just like them. And that was the entire point all along. And is to get to the point where people do not understand the difference between an actual peaceful protest and between complete and utter lunacy. They're not going to know the difference. So while I'm looking this up, tell me in the comments what you think. Because right now, I honestly don't know. The only thing I do know is that we have to do something. But I have no idea what it is. I don't know. So tell me in the comments, guys, what do you think? Toph, it is plain frightening. Miss Red Badger, this is not their daily duties. Definitely not. Chris Pollen, great impression. Well, thank you, sir. We defend our rights. We may not have a choice, and it will not be pretty. Well, that's for damn sure, Ms. Red Badger. I mean, like, no matter what we do, it's not going to be pretty. But, I mean, how do we do it right? I mean, I don't know how we do it right. We're not organized enough. Especially, I mean, the UK, they have a lot, obviously. You saw that. They have a shit ton of people coming into these anti-lockdown protests. We're not that organized here yet. We have this weird, like, I mean, it's not really weird. It's a really good thing, but certain states are doing certain things and certain states are not doing certain things. So you're not going to get the same outpouring that you would see, that you saw in the UK. I don't think that we can have on our side right now that large of a gathering. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, the one that was in California, by the way, Oreo Express, shout out to them. And Brent, I did see your comment earlier. Yes, I was the guy on Oreo Express commenting. That was me. Big fan of them. It was a pretty large protest out there in Huntington Beach. And, I mean, no Antifa really showed up or anything like that. It was peaceful. Everything seemed to go pretty well. They had some sneers and jeers and typical shit like that. But, I mean, I just don't see it happening that way for us. See, Bree Free 1775. Well, we're definitely getting there. Our Constitution says so, and our forefathers, and our founders. They can call me as they wish. I am a patriot. Agreed. They can call you that, and that's one thing that's a good point. We just have to be comfortable with that. We have to be comfortable with them calling us whatever, because they're going to anyway. Number one, it doesn't really matter. But we have to start organizing with like-minded people. Look, guys, I'm not an organizer. I'm not very good at that. I'm in my own head most of the time during the day. Like, my own thoughts rattle around so much. I'm not good at organizing, but I'm still going to attempt it. Obviously, I'm not that good at it, but I'm still going to attempt it. I will have something going on here pretty soon. I'm hoping next weekend, for those of you that do live in Colorado, hopefully next weekend I am going to be having a flag wave. I'll get the details out to you guys any way I can. I'll probably do a show midweek if I actually end up getting it together. I'm going to try to do it. I can't promise it because I'm not that good at organizing. I never have been. I'm not that guy, but somebody's got to do something, man. This is getting ridiculous. Somebody's got to at least try. We're too individualistic, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I mean, individual rights and the individual is what this entire country is built upon. But when we're facing a threat like this, that lone wolf shit has to go out the window. It's not going to save you. You can say, oh, I'll defend my own castle with me and my family. Well, yeah, guess what? I don't know how big your family is, but whoever they're sending, they're going to have more people. That lone wolf shit is not going to work. Get out of that mindset, because it's stupid. There is nowhere they cannot find you. There is nowhere they cannot get to you. And there is nothing you will be able to do if they decide to come after you and you decide to do that lone wolf shit. Not going to happen. Brent Wills, thanks for of course, dude. Thanks for sending me a friend request. Anytime, man. Yeah. I'm just happy to have you as a friend. I will remain locked and loaded. No one gets my firearm. Well, see, Sharon, that's kind of what I was talking about. And I wasn't necessarily responding to you with what I was just saying. But look, you by yourself isn't going to do shit. And I mean, I'm not trying to down on you or anything like that. Me by myself isn't going to do shit. Louis by himself isn't going to do shit. I mean, you can have all the firearms in the world, but you can only use one at a time. If you have a family of 5 that are all shooting, they have 30 people shooting back, you're going to lose that fight every day. I never requested them to protect me from a virus and to lose my freedom. None of us did. Well, I'm not going to say none of us. There are a lot of idiot shills here in America that did. They asked them to do it, and they did. And it is what it is. Bree Free, in my opinion, I think a lot of people on right are hoping the left insanity will just fade out, that the left's gone too far, but damn, the cross, way too many lines already. Yeah, no, that's true. They're not fading out. They're not going to. It's not happening. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse if nobody does anything about it. And like I said, I'm going to try to do a flag. That's the only thing I know to do right now, guys, is just put it out there that I want to have a little flag wave event, that, I want to do it this day, this time, and just see who shows up at this point. Because, it's probably, it's not much, but at least it's something. And I'm not a good organizer. I might be able to get 5 people out there at best. I don't care. I'm going to try to do anything, just anything at this point. We've been browbeaten so much over January 6th and all that complete horse shit. We got distracted with, was it planned insurrection or was Antifa involved and all that. Look, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if Antifa was or was not involved, if they planned it, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. We have to get out of this mindset that the truth is somehow what the narrative is, because it's not, and it never will be. And it doesn't matter how much you point out the hypocrisy, what you do, how many times you can catch people in lies. It's not going to do jack shit, and that's just something that we have to accept. We have to accept the media is not on our side. We have to accept the government is not on our side. We have to accept that a lot of people do want this authoritarian shit to happen, and we have to accept that we are never going to control the narrative. Never. It doesn't matter. Look, I love OANN, like Newsmax, Fox News, bleh. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many of those organizations we have. Right Side Broadcast and News, love them to death. They need to keep doing what they're doing, don't get me wrong, but it's never going to control the narrative. The left controls the narrative. We have tried for 4 or 5 years to combat that, and we barely made a dent. And we didn't even really make a dent. We, at the point, we still have people believing that Joe Biden got 80 million votes, that his falling up the stairs ass somehow is still running this country, not giving any time to the press, not doing a State of the Union. People think it's totally fine. They think it's totally legitimate. Why? Because the mainstream media controls that narrative until it gets to the point where people might break through, and then just at that point where people might break through that narrative, they switch to something else to distract you. That's it. That's the game, and it's a very good game. They're very, very, very good at playing it. Mo Grady, if you need my help, I will definitely let you know, because I'm going to need everybody's help, man. Like I said, if you're here in Colorado, I'm doing what I can. Yeah, Toph, I've been to your place, buddy. I know. You got very, very impressive armory there that you lost in a boating accident. But still, you're one guy, dude. One guy isn't going to do shit. I mean, I don't care who the guy is. The guy could be fucking Rambo. It doesn't matter. One guy is not going to do shit. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that to down on anybody. I'm not saying that, to say, oh, you're incapable, you don't have to train. It doesn't matter if you're a fucking Navy SEAL. One guy is not going to do shit. Maybe that's not what you're getting at, but I'm still kind of pissed off at the lone wolf mentality that's been going around the right, saying, oh, I'll defend my shit. No, you won't. No, you won't. Okay? It's just get it. It's not going to happen. The lone wolf shit is not going to happen. They want us to think that we are capable of that, because that way they can just go and pick us off one by one. And if your entire neighborhood feels that way, they'll just carpet bomb it and then done, dude. It cannot be a lone wolf thing. It will never be a lone wolf thing. Know your community and your neighbors. Yes, that's always definitely good. Is everyone here from Colorado except me? I don't think so, Bree. I think it's like me and Mo. I know Chris isn't. And Toph is. Toph is from Colorado, obviously. But I don't know where Mrs. Red Badger is from. But either way, guys, so this is what we have to do, is we have to start brainstorming this shit. As far as me doing that flag wave and everything, I'm planning it for next weekend. I'll try to get with as many people as I can to get them out there. I'll let you guys know privately where it is, because I don't want it to instantly get shut down by shitheads. I want it to at least go on for a little bit before it gets shut down by shitheads. So, I'm going to be a little covert about it, but still. We got to do something. And I mean, like I said, a flag wave is a flag wave. It's fun. It's good to show patriotism, and it's good to meet people. But really, here in Colorado, we just have to show that we ain't dead yet, that we're not gone, that we're not just going to lay over and die. So that's going to lead me to this last clip here really quick, guys. I did find it. I am a Reagan nerd. So, sorry, but we need a little inspiration right now. We do. And, I mean, it's hard for me to keep going sometimes. I need the inspiration. Virginia, what's up? I don't know where 605 is. I'm not good with area codes, bro. I am from the middle. Hello. The middle of what? The middle of Colorado? I could show you, but would have to take you hostage. LOL kidding. Okay, Mrs. Red Badger. All right, apparently Mrs. Red Badger is the female version of Jason Bourne, so I ain't going to screw around with that anymore. I'm going to go ahead and play this last clip, and then we're going to get out of here, guys. But that's what I want you guys to think about and brainstorm. Brainstorm with your friends. Share this out to everybody, too. Show them what's going on in the UK and across Europe, because it will be here. Show it to the live streamers that you know that are bigger than me. There are plenty of them. Share it with them, because if they're not talking about this, they absolutely should be. Screw Joe Biden falling up the steps. Yes, it's funny, but whatever. Show this to them. This is what they need to be talking about. Not necessarily what I'm talking about, but what is happening in the UK and what is happening in Austria, what's happening in Germany, what's happening all across Europe is going to be happening here. And we do need to prepare for it. And live streamers on the right need to be talking about that, not talking about fucking memes of fucking Joe Biden falling up the steps, falling forward, falling upwards like he's done his entire career. We know this. It's a distraction. It's funny. It's a distraction at this point. We have to let that shit go. Don't get me wrong. Keep making the memes. They're funny, but did that for 4 years. Okay? We got to be doing something else at this point. So start thinking about that. Show these things coming out of the UK to everyone you know, especially other conservative live streamers, and hopefully, and I think most of them will, grasp the actual importance of why I brought it up and why they need to be bringing it up. It's incredibly important, and we need to prepare for it, and we need to see what's happening, because it will be happening here within months. So for a little bit of inspiration, I got to go to my boy Reagan, of course. And I hope you guys enjoy. I hope it inspires you, and I hope that it puts that fire of freedom right back in your heart. I know you guys never lost it, but it's time that we do something, ladies and gentlemen.
We look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth. It was because here in this land, we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, My Pledge, he had written these words: America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, it's impossible to follow that, so I'll definitely say going out of this show tonight is thank you for joining us, but we have to learn how to live on our feet so we do not die on our knees. Liberty will prevail, but only because of you. Thank you so much. Love you all to death, and I'll catch you on the next one.
This is Roger Stone telling you that liberty prevails.
Major League Liberty. Defending life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And our happiness is always destroying the globalist agenda, exposing the flaws in fake news media, and of course, providing excellent entertainment.